Coming up next on Get Caught in a Net.
Get caught in a net with a net for your mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with a net. It's your intellectual radio show, here to inspire you and encourage you to be your very best. Get caught in a net with a net.
You are now tuned in to Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette, where your hosts, Annette Harris, analyze intriguing life questions and concerns, such as, do Christians suffer from mental illness? Have you wondered why they act abnormal? Or you may ask, what is really going on in their minds? Do you need Annette? Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind.
This is Annette Harris. We are joining here on this evening with 2024 Distinguished Authors Guild nominees. I'm your host of this show, and it's exciting to be here with you on this evening. You know, there are so many of them that we had to split them up. We had some on last month in September, of course, the ones earlier on today at 12 noon, and then, of course, this evening. We don't want to leave anyone out. So we were able to schedule them according to their schedules, of course, to come on and talk with us. We wanted to chat with them about their book. We wanted to chat with them about their nomination. And so you are, if you're watching us live or if you're watching the pre-recorded segment, you are still able to meet these wonderful women of God and to hear about their books. Hear about their nomination and the connection that we have made through Distinguished Authors Guild. So I'm going to bring them on. I do want to encourage you. We are live on Facebook, Annette Get Caught in the Net. Also YouTube and Instagram at Get Caught in the Net. So you can't miss us. If one of the avenues for you to watch us goes down, then you are more than welcome to hop on over to the other one. And I'm going to bring them in on this evening. We did have a couple of individuals who were not able to make it. They were scheduled, one early this afternoon and one this evening. But we're going to feature and bring in LaTanya Woodson, author LaTanya Woodson, and also author Valrie Kemp-Davis. I think I got her name right. It's a different take, you know. You might want to say Valrie, but that's not her name. It's Valrie. So we're talking to these two authors on this evening. Let me first ask you both, how are you doing? How are you doing tonight, LaTanya?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Good.
It's been a long day, so a little tired, but I'm doing okay.
I understand. It's middle of the week, what they call it, hump day. You know, so many things happening and go on, you know, but we're able to handle it. I think we can put the SW on our chest and keep going, right?
Absolutely.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Valrie, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you. I'm happy to be here this evening. And like my cohort over here, I'm a little tired, been busy all day, but I'm glad to be able to multitask and to talk about the gift that God has given me.
Ooh, I love the sound of that already. I love the sound of that already. Well, thank you. I'm so glad that both of you have joined us, taking time out of your busy schedules to join us on this evening. Let's start off. I want to know if you wouldn't mind sharing with us the name of your book and how you came to write this wonderful book. Let's start off there. Author Valrie, you want to start?
Sure. So the name of my book is Jamaican Me Say Me ABCs, and it's the commemorative edition where it is honoring current vice president and our presidential candidate, Democratic nominee, Kamala Harris. And how I came about writing this book was actually I wrote it when my daughter was probably about 3, and I revised it in 2015. It wasn't published till 2017. And in 1962, I think that was the year that Jamaica earned its freedom from the Queen's rule, and that would have been the 60th year for freedom for this country. And I decided, I heard in my spirit that God was saying to me, I needed to make it a commemorative edition, 60 years. And at that time, Kamala had been in office as vice president not too long. And based on the fact that my children are Jamaicans, that means that they come out of the diaspora, they have Jamaican lineage, but they also are Americans as well. That is something that they share in common with Kamala. And I thought I need to go in. There were some more additions that I put in, but I had no idea how prophetic that was, because down the road, as we can see, she is making history again. And I feel confident that she will be our first female president, our first Black female president, and that she will also be what Oprah called as the dream of the immigrants. She is the finest dream of any immigrant that we could have, and that's what we have, a lot of immigrants in this country.
Beautiful. Now, how many children do you have?
I have two, and I have a grandson on the way, my first grandchild.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
Oh, what you should be. You should be. So again, the name of the book.
Jamaica Me Say Me ABCs is written in Patois, and it is the commemorative edition, giving homage to Vice President Kamala Harris, who is now our nominee, the Democratic nominee, our presidential candidate for sure.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, I love that. I love that title. We talked earlier with the other authors about our journey, our own journey. A lot of times it's good to be able to take time to write out about it. Somebody's going to be able to connect. And like you said, this has come full circle for you. So that's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful title. And we're going to get more into talking about it. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Wonderful. Okay. So let's see. Now, tell me the name of your book, author LaTanya.
The name of my book is Learn, Release, Walk. I should have added the R to the description of my name, because actually the book is about me. My name is LaTanya Rochelle Woodson, and the book is Learn, Release, Walk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Learn, Release, Walk was birthed at a time. It was birthed in 2020. I know everyone can remember we were going through a major thing during that time. There was the pandemic, and everyone had to quarantine. And during that time, I lost my job, as a lot of people did. I was going through some personal challenges, health challenges, and it seems as if everything was going wrong all at the same times. And sometimes we go through that where everything is going just fine, but then you hit that bump in the road where you have to recollect yourself and just kind of go, okay, what's going on? So at that time, I felt that I needed some emotional support or counseling or spiritual counseling. And I tried calling a number of places where I'm from, in some of the surrounding cities. I even went to Illinois. And during that time, I was told it was a wait list. And it was a wait list anywhere from 3 to 6 months, which told me I'm not the only person that's going through some mental health issues. And I asked God, what do you want me to do? And he said to write. He said, write. And that's basically what Learn, Release, Walk is. I had to learn some things because I felt that I lost my voice. And you never lose your voice, especially when God gives you something, he gives it to you. We have to rediscover it. So we never lose it. and learn, release, walk. I'm also a certified empowerment coach. So I had to coach my way through the process. And God, he he will wake me up in the middle of the night, maybe 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's a lot of times when I would wake up and I would just get to my laptop and would just write.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. The title alone will grab your attention.
Yeah.
Learn, release,
Learn,
walk.
and it targets women, but I encourage men to buy the book as well, because of course you have wives, mothers,
Yep.
sisters, aunts, cousins, friends, co-workers, and a man needs to know the makeup of a woman.
Come on. Yeah.
And um and the book is dedicated to my mother. She's no longer here with me.
Sorry to hear
And
that.
it recalls a lot of my childhood and how, as women, as author Valrie indicated, we have very demanding careers. We have um, a woman that's running for office, the president of the United States. So we have very demanding careers. We hold political offices. We're CEOs. We're physicians. We're attorneys. We're police officers. It goes on and on and on. But we also still have to maintain um um those things that we have to do as far as being caregivers.
Yeah.
We still hold those titles as caregivers, as taking care of the home, nurturing the children, and taking care of the homework, and doing this. And it just keeps going and going and going. And many times we're taking care of everything and everybody, and we're not taking care of our own mental health. So when you came on and you were talking about the church,
Yeah.
and then explained the mental health of the church, that's what I talk about. I work for a behavioral health care organization in Gary, Indiana.
Okay.
I'm the director of community health education, where I partner with churches, and we go into the church and we talk about emotional and mental health. And
Good.
many times, as churches, as Christians, the pastor don't even want to talk about it, because they feel like, when you talk about emotional health, your faith is not there. So with Learn, Release, Walk, that's what we talk about. That's what I talk about. Everyone goes through depression. Everyone goes through stress. Everyone experience some type of anxiety. So you have to learn how to address those things. You have to learn how to release and walk in your God-given purpose.
Yeah. Beautiful. Gina, I think you set me up. I had earlier today. Listen, let me tell you. She knows that psychology and mental health, that's my background. That's my baby. I had two of them on here earlier today, and they were just, I said, y'all have me in mental health. Because that's my area. And that's what I believe God has placed me in, to be able to help individuals. So I'm listening to you and I'm like, okay, she set me up. Here's another one. But you know what? Honestly, we don't really realize how much of our lives and our environment around us is related. We can connect it back to mental health. People don't realize that. That is actually the basis of this show, to talk about the spiritual and, aspects of everyday life, and talking about the mental health aspects of everyday life. All that comes in together. People don't realize that. But anyway, thank you for that. Thank you for giving a little background about your book. And as I'm listening to both of you, I'm seeing and hearing, all the things that we as women, have to do. But we have to understand, we have to take care of our own selves, because we're not going to be good for anyone else. We won't be able to help the others that are reaching out, they're crying out. So we have to take care of our mental health as well. And so when we talk about these books, these are great titles, ladies. I'm loving the titles already. Now, are they both available on Amazon, or where can we find your books?
So my book is on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, and also you can find it on Walmart online.
Wonderful.
You can reach out to me also through my website, which is www.valriekempdavis.com, and reach out to me, and I can get books to you directly.
Okay, wonderful. At some point, either while we're on here now, live, ladies, if you wouldn't mind going on to the Facebook post and placing where they can find your books so that they won't have an excuse and they can look it up and purchase your books either before we end on this evening or sometime thereafter. Because we will have people that are watching it live and then those who will come back and watch it as well. So I want them to be able to find your books. And where can they find yours, author LaTanya?
I'm also on Amazon, or you can reach me through Facebook. I am working on a website that I will announce later, but just reach out to me through Facebook Messenger, and I will connect with you to get the book to you, a signed copy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let me read some of these comments. I'm glad you guys have come in on this evening and sharing with us to talk to these other 2024 nominees for a Distinguished Authors Guild. I see author Farron. We appreciate you for supporting, dear. She says, hello, DAG family. And it is a family. DAG is a family. It's not just a foundation that has been created for authors, but it is a family. And Gina did speak with us. She said, hello, beautiful ladies. And I also see author Natalie on. She says, hello to everyone. And Gina is also agreeing that you guys have great titles for your books. I see you laughing at me, Gina, when I said you set me up. I know what that laugh is for. I know what it's for. All right, so let's see. Let me talk about with each of you. I want to talk about your passions. What are your passions? I think I know, but maybe there's some things you might want to share with us that you did not share. What is your real passion?
Well, again, my real passion is educating the community about self-care, about taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
And I do it for the entire family. For instance, I just launched a children's book. It's called What's Up, Romeo? Do Not Talk to Strangers. It's a series. And What's Up, Romeo is my family's pet. And it's dedicated to my grandchildren. And it all started with my grandchildren, as a matter of fact, because I was talking to them. And I always, take it back to the dog. Well, Romeo wouldn't want you to do that. And why would you do that? Because, Romeo is looking at you and he's seeing you do that. So why are you? So it started in that way. And I'm like, if they are listening to me talking about a dog, what could I design and create as a legacy to my family?
Okay.
So I created the What's Up, Romeo series that addresses diversity. It addresses inclusion. It addresses safety, self-awareness. It ignites a discussion between the child and parent, or the students and teachers. It has catchy poems. The next series will be What's Up, Romeo? My friend looks different. So what? So that's diversity.
Yeah.
Romeo will talk about a lot of things, because who doesn't like a dog? Who doesn't like pets? And many times, children will hear or listen to adults, but they time out.
Yep.
But they love listening and looking at pets, and especially dogs. So I'm like, let me develop something for my family that we can have a legacy. My grandchildren, they call me Mimi.
Okay.
So at Mimi, after many, many years, when I'm in my wheelchair, I won't say that,
No,
not
no.
wheelchair, but when I say when I'm in my rocking chair, looking at them playing outside, they would have taken the What's Up Romeo series to a whole another level.
There you
So
go.
we're working together, creating things. I'm asking their opinion. My grandchildren range from 8 and to like 3 months old. And they talk to me and say, Mimi, we want to talk about da 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 da. And that's what we do. We work together, and now we have a family legacy.
I love that. I love that. So you're able to collaborate, or they're able to collaborate with you. I love it. I love it. And we don't think about that too much, about leaving that legacy, whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
Developing it, nurturing it. And so
Yes.
my hat is off to you. I love that. I love it. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, author Valrie.
Hmm. So I've been blessed to have multiple passions. I
Okay.
retired in 2021 as a senior parole agent for the state of Illinois Department of Corrections, and my career spanned it from '85 to 2021, where I got to work behind the bars for male and female offenders, and in the community as a parole agent. Seen many things and exposed to many things, and even though I dealt with adult offenders, of course, I was in contact with family and
Mhm.
children, and I saw what uh, families of criminality look like, how dysfunction can take us to the darkest places, but also what hope could do to bring a family back together with the help of others.
Yeah.
And so, as a parole officer, we were about reintegration into society, and just began to look at a lot of stuff in my career, especially when I became a mother. And when I became a mother, it has always been important to me to be the primary teacher for my children, because I knew that there are a lot of influences of the street. And if
Yeah.
you don't have a firm grip on what you believe in, and to mold and groom your children to have the highest of self esteem, especially in America where we live, where our people of color are not so much glorified or held in high esteem. And when I started thinking about books, because I am the child of an educator, she's deceased now, who taught over 40 years. She taught English and Spanish.
Oh.
And she had a library that still stands now, even though that both of my parents are dead. I learned to see a lot of the things of the world vicariously through books, um, understood what bibliotherapy was about, and
Mm.
understood about imagination, and to also know that you can create a world beyond what you might see in your everyday life. And so, as a mother, I did not see a lexicon of books that talked about the child who was uh, multicultural at that time.
Yeah.
So, with me being married to a man who was born in London, a person of color, and he had Jamaican heritage, and me coming from the South, and us through our love creating kids, I didn't see our story. And Toni Morrison said, if you don't see your story, then you create your story. And that created a whole plethora of things that I wanted to talk about beyond just my daughter and my other daughter who would be born in the future. What I saw was, by looking at children who were children of inmates and parolees and my own children, that there is a commonality. Children just want to grow and thrive, but because of circumstances. So, what are the circumstances? And it just really got me looking at the commonality between blacks and browns, because they are the highest numbers in the prison industrial complex here in America. And it started making me think about just how much money is garnered through our pain, our ignorance, our being I guess, clustered together in circumstances that make us act ugly toward each other. And I said, I've got to write beyond my kids. So what is the commonality? Well, we all came through the transatlantic trade system in the past. So even though you see Mexicans and Puerto Ricans going at each other, they don't like each other like that. They're still family. We're family because we were dropped off in Mexico, and Haiti, Cuba, the Bahamas, Brazil, Jamaica, and so on and so forth. And we learn how to survive. So when I met my husband at a spoken word June production in Atlanta, Juneteenth thing, I was reading a poem about Rodney King being beat down, and he was behind the camera. And when I met him, I heard his accent, which I thought was intriguing. But I thought I sound ignorant because I said I didn't know there was any blacks in London at the time. Because at the time, they wasn't showing them on TV.
Yep.
So now you see everything, Top Boy, all kind of stuff, small acts. But at that time, you wasn't seeing them. And so we learned that we had commonality. My grandmother food, when he met my grandmother, tastes like his grandmother's food, and his grandmother's food was some of the food that you see as remnants of things that were taught to her people coming out of Africa. So it's about culture. So you said, what is important to me? It's about preservation of culture. It's about cultural diversity. It's about inclusion. It's about tolerance. It's about self-love. It's about the commonality. It's about self-affirmations and to not assimilate, but to appreciate. So my stories include a lot of those themes. It deals with post-traumatic stress disorder for children. I have a book that hasn't even been published yet, but it's complete. It's called Hopped on Pops. And at the back of the book, thanks to my son-in-law, he said, "Ma, you should have a scene from the insurrection of January 6th. So you see my daughter as a cartoon character with her father looking at the TV, and you could see the Capitol being stormed. But yet again, when we do what we do, we're not called protesters.
Right.
We're called the insurrectors. And when they do what they do, they're called protesters and patriots. So it's a lot of different things, but it's for our people to see themselves, for parents to read the stories with their children, because they're adults, they're children, and they're adults at the same time. We have a child in us. And so I want to appeal to the child and the parent, and I want us to be able to have those hard conversations, and I want us to glorify each other, and I want us to honor each other and to understand where we come from, where we're going. And for me, it's really important that our words be preserved because they are targeting Black books. They are saying that it's critical race theory, banning our stories, even the stories that are of yesterday that have merit in our community, like I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings, The Bluest Eyes, Sula, even Soulway, that has nothing to do with making them feel bad, but deals with colorism and for us to have self-love with each other.
Yeah.
Those types of books are being banned too. But I've seen some books recently that were very controversial in my eyes, but are okay and were in our public library, but could not have been there years ago. They're getting the coverage and considered to be the norm, new normalcy, but our stuff are considered to be controversial, should be burned. I just saw on Google a few weeks ago a library in Florida where there were tons of books piled out. They were thrown away and they were to be burned. We're burning books. They were books based on writers who were African American, who were indigenous, Native Americans. And so to me, you start tearing up our history, you will tear up our legacy because we don't know who we are. We have no markers. We don't know anything about anything. When we're all gone 100 years from now, who will there be to say slavery existed? You see, Jews don't let anybody tell them that the Holocaust was a lie.
Right.
And now they're trying to tell us that we didn't have slavery. We were indentured servants.
Yeah.
We have to rise up. We have to fight back. And if they try to censor us here, then the Black church needs to step up, make sure that we're in those meetings with those kids so that they can understand who they are. It's a lot of kids don't even know the National Black Anthem, Lift Every Voice and Sing. They've
Mm.
never heard of this song. They don't know a lot of stuff that we know that they should know. So it's incumbent upon us to teach them so that they can walk in their kingdom and their queendom like they should.
All right. Well, I heard a lot of passion in there. You're right. You do have a wide range of passion, but it's needed. It's definitely needed. Gina said here, we need that book soon, Val.
I'm trying, Gina. My agent is having trouble getting it published, but I'm staying the course. It's called Hopped on Pops.
Okay. We'll be looking for that. We'll be looking for that. Dr. Shauna has joined us. Thank you for coming in. She says, good evening. Great evening to you as well. We do appreciate each of you joining us on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. Listen, I want to ask, because there's so much here that we've heard on tonight that I think is very important. And both of you talked a little bit about yourselves, and I was as I was listening, I'm listening to the experiences that you have gone through, the things you have gone through. And I want to ask you, do you believe that your life was influenced by your experiences or your experiences influenced by your life? Might be a loaded question, but do you think your life was influenced by your experience or vice versa?
I think the Bible says he foreknew us and we were predestined.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's a ebb and flow between the two.
Okay. Okay.
If I could change some things, maybe when I was younger, I said, yeah, I would change it. But now that I've gotten older, I think I'm more so like my mom and my uncle, where they said I wouldn't change anything about my life, even the negativity, because it has built me to be the woman that I am. I am a fortress. I'm built to last. And
Okay.
so I believe that with every pain, with every tear, with every stump of my foot, with every wrong, crooked path that I took, and to see God's hand on my life and the redirection, that it was to be for Romans 28 fulfillment. For we know all things work together for those who love God and called according to his purpose. It's going to work together for the good.
Yeah.
So I think that the experiences did influence me, but I think it's the other way around too. So I can't just give it a one or the other answer. For me, as I said, it's an ebb and flow. The water goes in, it comes out, the rain comes down. You know what I'm saying? We have the moment of drought, we refill, we replenish. It's just all of that. And I thank God for the complexity of life,
Okay.
because it does help mold and make you.
Beautiful. So it's not either or, but probably both.
Yes, for me it's
Yeah,
both.
I agree. That's pretty much how Learn, Release, Walk was birthed. That's what I remember as far as my mom is concerned. When I was growing up, looking at her, looking at the other women throughout my childhood, my grandmother, my mother, my aunts, my sister, the woman at church, the women in the community. Those are the various experiences that make up the woman that I am today. So
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of both. The experiences that we have endured make us who we are, but also it helps us throughout our journey, because each of us have a journey. We have a story. And each of our stories should be shared with others as a testimony to help others. So I think it's a little bit of both. I can't say one way or the other.
Yeah.
But with me, I hold true to how I was raised, what I saw growing up, and what I want to pass on.
Beautiful. Love it. I love it. Great answers, ladies. Great answers. I love those responses. So let's jump into talking about this nomination. You received an email and said that your book was nominated. What was your first reaction, and what does this nomination mean to you?
I was excited.
Okay.
First of all, I never thought that I would be walking this walk as an author. So I debuted it as an author in 2021. So when I started the journey of writing the book, it was still something I was just writing, just, as a form of therapy, self-therapy for myself. And then when the book was published, I was like, oh my goodness, I thank God. It was just, but what God was saying to me, yeah, this is something that you went through, but this is something that should be shared.
Ooh.
Whatever, God brings you through something, it's not for us to hold on to, it's for us to share with others. It's a form of a testimony to share and empower with other women. So when that occurred and when that happened, I was very happy. And then when women started to reach out to me, when various book groups and things of that sort, churches, small women groups that would get together at the various restaurants or different places, I was like, what? Wow, you never know what other people are going through, and what your words and what you have to say will help empower others. So yeah, it was life changing. It was transformative for me. And it, again, it helped me to rediscover my voice and walk in my purpose.
Ooh. All right now. I see what that nomination did for you.
Mhm.
That was great.
And Miss Gina is awesome.
Oh my God, yes, she
Miss
is.
Gina Gasson, oh my goodness, she and Dr. Carolyn, they have truly been a blessing. I can't speak enough of what they have done, what they have poured into each of us. And I always tell Miss Gina, when do you sleep? I tell Miss Dr. Carolyn, when do you sleep? Because there are so many of us, as you stated earlier in the show.
Yes,
And what they give to me, I'm sure they give to each person.
they do.
So
They do.
I am honored to be a part of the selection, to have met and spoken to the other authors. We learn from one another. I learn from them, and I'm still growing at this process. Some of us have been at it longer than others. I'm one of the newcomers, so yeah, I'm still growing.
Beautiful. Yes. Yeah, I can't thank Gina enough. She's just a sweetheart. And I do believe that she treats each of us the same. She just has a huge heart
Yeah.
for wanting to help people, and of course toward authors, and encouraging us to get the word out, get our books out,
And
share our story.
absolutely.
Somebody put on there, who's that? Author Linda, I think she was on earlier. She said, yes, share your story. I totally agree. We need to. We all have a book within us, and I think we need to make sure that that word gets out. Before I let you answer that question, Author Valrie, I'm going to read a few more comments. Gina says, great, great, great books. Everyone should have a copy of these books in their library. And I agree. And you guys make sure that you check them out. Don't just listen to them tonight on this show and then you don't check out their books. We want to make sure that we support them. Author Linda did say, hello, amazing authors. Okay, wonderful. And Gina is thanking you for your comments earlier. So, author Valrie, are you ready to answer that question for us?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay.
Um, it's humbling,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm quite appreciative. Um, I have watched DAG really grow and blossom, and there is a great magnitude of writers all across the United States, male and female, um, all ages. And so to uh, have my book read and reviewed and deemed worthy enough to be nominated, whether I win or not, I feel like I have won. And I appreciate the passion of Gina Gatz, the founder and CEO of this great organization, DAG. And I appreciate Dr. Carolyn Stevens, who is a great mentor and a resource to all the authors to not just write the books, but also to develop platforms so that your book will thrive and that it will be, as author LaTanya said, a part of the legacy that lives beyond you. And to get the structure, to get the community where we all could be a part of it, to get the training means so much to me. So whether I win or not, I feel like I'm winning because I'm with this great company of writers and it's growing. And I've had the honor and the privilege, even more so, to bring people to it. I've seen a young man that attends the university that my daughter is alum, Full Sail University, struggle for years to try to write his book. And I said, well, I know a group of people who can help you. And he was actually a winner last year, a children's book about just learning how to cope with things in terms of being a child and struggling. And there's a young lady who's a member of my church right now who is almost about finished with all the aesthetics with her books. And I'm just so happy that beyond me, my legacy is just to help bring other writers to the table for their dreams to become actualized. It goes beyond the moment of, hearing you won, because I feel like we all are winners. But if I win, girl, y'all know I'm gonna take the trophy, act a fool, and I'm gonna be so happy. I am, but I just want to say, I just want to say that I'm just joyous whether I win or not. To
That's
just know that I'm
beautiful.
a great company of writers in this Distinguished Authors Guild, and I just love seeing the different folks come in and what they bring to the table. I'm so proud of my Gina, and what God has given her, because this is revolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and I'm just so happy that we have that, and that God gave her a reach that went beyond the Northwest Indiana region,
Mm-hmm.
and that makes us just have access to each other. And it's just so amazing the things that people are writing about.
Yeah.
It's just amazing what God has given people, and they're being so for, forward thinking and just have the wherewithal to just push and get it done. And then, we get to fellowship together and learn more about each other, and also get our books out so that the world can hear what we have to say, because the independent published author is really on the map these days.
Mm-hmm.
you know? And so this is a blessing in my eyesight.
Beautiful. I've heard, thank you for the comment, author Linda. You all are winners. That is so true. And she says, hashtag, it takes a village to write a book.
It sure
Come on,
does.
Valerie. I agree. I totally agree. As I was listening today to the other authors, I hear a common theme from earlier today to this evening. about Distinguished Authors Guild being a wonderful foundation, a community, a family. Not just I wrote my book and I was blessed to be able to submit it. It's been nominated. I will possibly win, but I have gained others. I've gained sisters and brothers, other authors, along this journey. And I think that that is going to be important for now, for later. I'm still in communication with authors from last year, winning last year's award. And I'm grateful for it. You know what I mean? You don't, and it's not like you just because you are all involved in this, um, you know, award ceremony, and then after that, okay, bye bye. I don't want to see you anymore. No, you have established a relationship with these individuals, and I'm reached out to G and I said, my platform is still open. I can still interview people this year, the nominees and everything. I want to continue that on. When you see somebody doing something that is for the good, that's helping others, hey, I want to push you, encourage you, whatever I can do, whether it's open to my platform or what have you. So I think this is it's an absolute blessing to be a part of, and that's the common theme that I heard from earlier tonight and listening to you ladies on this evening. Dr. Whitehead says it's wonderful to be a part of this supportive group of authors. DAG is amazing. I totally agree. And she said, thank you ladies for sharing. And Arthur Linda says, hashtag DAG, they are not like us. I love it. I love it. But we can all see how it has been a blessing to each of us. Before we end on this evening, first of all, I do want to say congratulations to you on your nominations. And of course, congratulations to my guests earlier on today. Earlier today, we got to really talking and everything. And I kind of went off my little spiel of my questions, and the same thing I'm doing tonight, but it's just because we were able to connect and have a good conversation here. But I do want to say congratulations to you, and I bid you Godspeed in all that you're doing. Now, to end this on tonight, I want to ask the both of you if you can give some encouraging words to those who are listening now, who will listen later. But I wanted to be more specific in relation to writing. People don't think that people write anymore. I've come across this whole different, Dr. Whitehead mentioned, group of authors now. And sometimes people don't think that writing a book is important. Can you give some encouraging words, to those who are listening on this evening? You don't have to be a award-winning author, but you have your experience, something that you can share with those who are watching regarding writing, some encouragement.
I think both of us have really shared, our sentiments about writing and the passion that we have behind that. But with writing, everyone has a story, as we all said, but what my book may reach, yours may reach another audience. Another person may reach another population. So we shouldn't feel that we're not successful or we're not valued because we didn't reach a certain person. That person may not be our assignment. When God gives us our assignment, it's going to reach the people that it should reach.
That's right.
So with Learn, Release, Walk, it was something personal that I went through. It's my personal journey. And when I wrote it in mind to help other women, but it may not reach the women that your book may reach or Miss Valerie's book may reach, but it's going to reach the right person, the person that God directs that book to. And believe me, when you put it out there, if God told you to do something, then he's going to get it to the population, and he's going to get it to the person that it needs to be gotten to. So no one should feel like they're failures. As was stated, if I don't win, I am a winner.
That's right.
I was a winner back when I had my book signing, when the book was published. because not many people write books. You hear about more people writing, but a very low percentage of people actually write because they feel like, who's going to read it? There's someone that's going to read your book and that's going to be delivered, or they're going to be healed, they're going to be educated. And I just feel very blessed, even to be on your show. If it had not been for DAG, I wouldn't even be in this space that we're sitting in right now. And with that, I'm reaching an audience because the person never would have known of learn, release, walk.
Yes.
So it is definitely, I can say for myself, an assignment. I did not want to tell my story. I didn't at first, but God said, no, you have to share this to help other people, help young women, even to help older women to manage their emotions, because as women, we need to know how to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's needed. I encourage other people to write. I encourage, if you have a passion, to follow your dreams and have faith and trust that it's going to come into fruition.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That was very encouraging. I hope someone grab a hold of that and it encourages them. Author Valrie, what would you encourage?
Well, I would say, since we are saying we are women of God, and we are, that we recognize that God is the author and the finisher of our faith. So God is the first author. And when we talk about God, it says in the word, in the beginning was the word, and the word was God, and the word was with God, and the word became flesh and dwelt among us. And I would say that our words become flesh and dwell among us, that it has merit and has worth. And Habakkuk 2:2, it tells you to write the vision and make it plain. And so that the heroes can run with it. And though the vision tarry, it will do everything that it's assigned to do. That's what author LaTanya was saying. Whatever your words are assigned to do, they will do. And if it takes a while for it to get done, don't worry about it. There will be someone like Gina Gasson, like Dr. Carolyn Stevens, like Annette Harris, who will be the hero, who will run with your words, and that they will do what they're assigned to do. First of all, I would say, write for yourself, because your very words might be the very thing that saved your life.
Come
Because you
on
are
now.
catharsis. Before you write for anybody else, that you be the first audience. And write uninhibitedly, write unabashedly, write honestly. Don't write like you're gazing from a perspective of deciding whether this has merit. Does this sound right? Is this so deep? Just write whatever comes out of you. And then if God says that the writing needs to be shared with someone, he'll tell you when, he'll tell you how. And you already have a community in DAG. So I would say, be true to whatever you're going through. And even if it seems like it's really controversial, write it honestly. And then I would tell you that if you plug into an organization like this, you're going to get guidance in more ways than you ever dreamed. You
Yeah.
won't be alone. Because it can be undaunting on how to get this done. And I would tell you also to put yourself out there. Do things that you've never done before, knowing that God will give you the energy, the strength, courage. He will give you the backative. He will bring your tribe to you. He will help you create tribes like he did with Gina. Because if you all remember, she started out as an author, the Alpha series, and God called her because she walks in administrative skills to
Yes.
do something administratively that had not been done before in this region. And don't be pigeoned in to just one thing. I just went to a author's brunch on Sunday and got to meet other authors that were not necessarily inside the scope of DAG, but they're still authors yet and well. And so once you start this journey and you move in faith, I have seen God open doors that has no limits. I've had the privilege of doing book launches in Jamaica twice.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on TV and the newspaper multiple times over there. And I say, God, I don't even know really how all that happened, but it comes with moving in faith, listening and to being obedient, and to network and network and network and talk and talk and talk and dream and dream and dream. Don't let anything limit your dreams. It's as high as you think it is. And God said we could do all things through him. And I believe that I am just naive enough or whatever to believe what he says. And I have seen the fruit of the labor, what God can do, a heart that's willing, not just my life, but other people's lives. I marvel at the people around me, the Annettes and the LaTanyas and the Ginas and the Lisa Bennett's and all the different ones that we have come across in these last few years, who we will come across still.
Yeah.
So I would say, don't get overwhelmed. Just eat the elephant one bite at a time. Just write the story first. Don't worry about editing. I got a young lady right now who's writing, and she just sat and talked to me, and she just started pouring out her heart of how she got to this place. I have a friend that was the first one to tell me about Kindle Direct,
Mm-hmm.
and she didn't publish until last year.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, and so it's like if everybody does what God is calling them to do, we will get to where we need to be. And so I'm just excited to be in this space, in this place, at this time, in this season for this very purpose. And I just feel like it is important that we say what we have to say and that we leave those documents behind, so that when we are sleeping in our grave, there is a generation of people to come who will read the Claude McKay stories and who will read the James Baldwin stories and the Maya Angelou stories and the Marcus Garvey stories and the Booker T. Washington. But guess what? The names are now modern, and it's Annette Harris, and it's Tanya Woodson, and it's Val Davis, it's Gina Gassett, it's Carolyn Stewart, it's Linda Holloway, it's Yoli Citron, and all those who are to come. And I just feel like we are powerful people.
Yeah.
We have been writing, when they talk about our stories as Black people, we were writing in Arabic when we came over here. We were never illiterate people.
Mm-hmm.
We were writing our stories in Arabic. Then you had the Zora Neale Hurston's, who was going down into the bayous and talking to people and recording and hearing our stories. And we are just griots. We gather information, we hold the stories, we tell it for generations to come. It is, as Alex Haley said, our roots. He named his book Roots. And if you tell the story, we will know about the dog.
Right.
That's the LaTanya story that Mimi is telling her kids, just like they told in Alice Haley time, what Yambe Balonga was, what a code was, all that kind of stuff. And we all glean from it.
Yeah.
So I'm just really excited to be caught in the net tonight. My story, along with LaTanya Woodson, and to just encourage anybody that has something in their belly that needs to get out, write it. If you're the audience of one, and if you never publish it, you told it. And if it's what God wants you to do, He will put you in the place and the space with the people who will help you get what you need to get done if you are so willing.
Beautiful, beautiful. Listen, you said the last part. Author Linda says, "Be your own. You be your own audience." Love it. Love it. And Dr. Whitehead says, "That's right. We complement. There is no need to compare. We are better together."
Absolutely.
Totally agree. Gina, thank you so much for placing in author Valrie's book. The name of her book, Jamaican. I don't want to butcher. Go ahead, Val. Author Val.
Jamaican me say me ABC man. The commemorative edition.
See, I there's no way I could have even done that. No way, no way. I don't ever want to mess up anything. But that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Gina says you all have her heart full on tonight. That's beautiful. Well, honey, you've made our hearts full. So that's why we talk about you. Give the queen her flowers while she lives. Author LaTanya, you said something earlier that made me remember this one statement. Someone told me once my book was published, your book may not be for everyone, but it's for someone.
Absolutely.
And I said that'll do. That will do. You know, that will help encourage you, you know, along the way. This has been great. They say they're authors, but they've come out here, they preached the word, they've talked about mental health, they have shared everything else about them tonight, but they're really authors. And I am so grateful that you all have shared time with me on this evening to come in to talk to us about your journey, your nomination, your books, and how it all came about. So we want to bid you Godspeed and congratulations again. And we pray that God's best will be yours, and that we'll continue our connection, okay, even after this. So thank you again for joining me on tonight.
And thank you for having me.
You're both welcome. You're both welcome. Gina, thanks again for the connection. We appreciate you, my sister. And keep doing what you do. We are behind you 100%. And those of you that do not have your tickets, you said, what? You don't have your tickets yet? What? You all need to go to, and I'm trying to, Gina, if you can get to it quicker than I can, make sure you put the link for the Distinguished Authors Guild 5th Annual Literary Award Show, November 10th. Did I get it right? I got it right. And it's going to be in the Midwest this year. I teased her because she had me flying all the way to Las Vegas last year. But hey, no complaints here. No complaints. And this year it'll be in Park Forest, Illinois at Theater 47. And you guys are going to have a wonderful, wonderful time. I am planning to be there. So I should be there to support you guys and to root you on. But those of you, again, who do not have your tickets, please, the website for the tickets, it is in the, oh my goodness, this was such a long message, it cut it off. Okay, so here we go. The event celebrates the best in literature and honors the authors who have made significant contributions. The event will feature a ceremony to present awards. It will be an event of recognition, networking, and entertainment. And you can go to that website and you can get your tickets there. I don't think that she's sold out, so you can still get the tickets. Okay, guys? Meet them there, support these authors. They have done great work. I am grateful to all that have come on last month, this month, 2024 Distinguished Author Guild nominees. And we just, again, pray that God will just continue to bless you. Guys, we're going to get out of here. I did 2 shows on today. I will not do a live show next week. Let me get a breather. No, I'm just kidding. No. This is good stuff. Just follow me for my promos, and we'll see you guys soon. And make sure you guys go and get these books. Get the books, get the books, get the books. Amazon, you can't miss them. You cannot miss them. All right. We'll talk to you guys soon. And peace, love. I'm not going to say hair grease, but peace.
And so, no, I'm good.
Did y'all see how she went from Jamaican to the? Yeah, y'all see that?
I'm telling my age with that one, right?
That's all right, though. All right. All right. God bless each of you. We'll see you soon.
Get caught in a net with a net for your mind, body, and soul. Get caught in a net with a net. It's your intellectual radio show, here to inspire